say Peoples attacked a woman outside his Clarksville home during a domestic dispute. Her head was badly cut when Peoples kicked in her car window and hit her face. Clarksville police say Peoples used to work for their department before getting hired by Springfield last August.
Peoples was fired from the Clarksville Police Department for this incident. All he did was go across the county line and get a job at Springfield Police Department. Then he returned to the scene of the crime and beat the girl up back in May of this year. So let's go, it's a wild one.
Alright, so it is Friday, February the 28th at 12:57 p.m. This is Captain Burdock. I am today speaking with Miss Lauren Bell. What was your name again? Melissa Bell. You know, like I was telling you before, this is regarding an internal process that we do. Our professional integrity unit, we investigate matters that the chief's assigned us to, not everything that goes to that level, but in light of the past couple of days that he's asked me to look into this a little bit, and that's why I called you to talk with you a little bit. And that's fine with you being here. You're the mother. Now, how old are you again?
I'm 19.
19. have nothing to hide, so you're welcome to be here and be in support of her. Again, this is an administrative investigation that I'm doing. Nothing is to do with criminal. All that I ask is just like I ask to anybody, right? Is to be truthful with me. That's all I ask. That's not too much to ask, right? You know, anybody that I talk to, no matter what's happened up to this point, just at the very onset of this investigation, it's very important because there's a lot at stake here, including the reputation of you, officer, the department, everybody.
Including the reputation of officer, the department.
I take these matters seriously, to be honest with you. Because I've been in this, I'm not going to bore you with my career, but I'm saying I've been in this law enforcement for a long time. And I believe in this police department. But I also know, and I can tell you without hesitation.
Oh no, there was definitely some hesitation here. Check it out.
But I also know, and I can tell you without hesitation.
Yeah, there was definitely some hesitation.
That regarding what people post and what people think, is that we don't sweep things under the rug. We're as transparent as we can, investigate things, and we let the chips fall where they lay. If an officer's done something wrong, then they've done something wrong, and our chief of police handles it. If the investigation concludes that the officer did nothing wrong, then that's the way it is. But we do look into it, all right? I want you guys to feel relaxed and not to be, I mean, obviously you're here at the police department, you seem a little nervous. I will say that this started, from what I know, as a post that was made by Lauren Bell, which I'm assuming is you, regarding this. And I've never really seen something to come alive like this. Not only slamming on the department, slamming on you, slamming on the officer, it's went viral, you know, for lack of better terms. It really has. Also, to say this is that no matter my personal beliefs on affairs, marriages, what this boils down to is on duty, right?
Yes.
On duty incidents. So that's kind of my scope of this investigation. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge him. I'm not going to judge her for what happens in people's personal lives. That is not my job, and that's not my scope. My scope is to determine on-duty incidents. All right? So we clear on that?
Yes.
Okay. Right off the top, do you have anything to tell me about this situation at all? Your post. You created that post, correct?
Yes, I was really mad at the time. I didn't think it was going to blow up like it did.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be just like a small thing to make him angry and then to make his wife mad, and it blew up like so fast. And then by the time I had deleted it, other people had screenshotted it and posted it in like other like pages, and it just continued to grow and grow and grow.
Correct. It did.
I didn't mean for it to like get as big as it did. I didn't think it was going to get out of hand like it did.
Well, you did post it on our police department's Facebook, right?
Right.
I can't control that. So how do you know Officer Peoples?
He used to be my next door neighbor, and then
Let's pause it. Where was that at?
On Foxtail.
Foxtail.
Yes.
Where is that? Where you live?
That's where I sold my house 6 months ago.
Okay. So that's where you met him?
Yeah.
Foxtail.
Yes, he was my neighbor, and then I was in a relationship with the person that I have a kid with, Christian. His name's Christian, and I moved in with him. So I was living with him, and then
Who living with who? Christian. Okay.
Yes, in an apartment. Okay, and then the situation that I was in got like abusive. It was a domestic situation.
Right. Heard about that.
I had to talk to him about talk to Jarreil about it,
Mm-hmm.
and then he had given me his number, and he was like, "If you need me, you could call me." And so I never had to call him for anything. But then I ended up having like an interest in law enforcement,
Mm-hmm.
so I did a ride along with him.
When was that?
You have reached the Clarksville Police Department. Chief's office.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing super. Hey, I was just calling to find out what is the procedure for doing a ride-along with a police officer?
Okay, you have to come in and fill out a form,
Uh-huh.
put all your information, give a copy of your driver's license, and you can do that down at our records department,
Uh-huh.
and they'll do a background check, and then somebody will call you and set up the date and time.
Oh, okay. So that's exactly how that's supposed to be done. So you can't. Let me just ask you a quick question. Let's say I know a cop, and he offered to give me a ride along. Can we just do that between me and him?
No.
No, has to be approved by.
Yes.
Who has to approve? Who approves that? If you don't.
I mean, it's approved by the supervisor over records, but that form has to be completed and signed by you.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have to do a background check, and then you can ride along with that officer of your choice.
Okay, let me ask you one quick question, and I'll let you go. As far as the form goes, is it subject to open records?
The form itself?
Yeah. In other words, can someone come along and get that form? Let's say I put one in, and
yeah.
someone wanted to verify that I actually filled out that form.
Let me ask. Hang on.
Okay,
I'm
thank
not
you.
Sure.
Sure.
Sorry for your wait, sir, but
It's okay.
yes, it can be subject to that, yes.
Oh, it can? Okay, who would I talk to about requesting that document? Did I just go to the Open Records Department?
Well, you can just come to 135 Commerce Street. The records clerks down there have the forms for you to
Okay.
fill out, and you could just do it all right there and give it right back to them. It's pretty simple.
All right. Hey, I thank you. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right? You're welcome.
You have a good
Bye-bye.
day. Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. You have to fill out the form. Whether Lauren Bell actually filled that form out or not is a question mark. You have to live in Tennessee to do open records in Tennessee. It's a closed state. So if anybody lives in Tennessee and you don't mind, can you open records Lauren Bell's form that she filled out to do that ride along? I'd really appreciate it. Show it to the world. Thank you. Let's get back to the video.
Like August,
Okay.
around that time, and then nothing happened around that time. About like almost a month went by, and me and him started seeing each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then
September, October, somewhere in
It was
there.
like October, mid-October,
Okay.
and then it's just continued from that point.
Okay. When you're talking about relationship, like you all were in a physical relationship, continue on. I didn't mean to interrupt, but do you have anything else to say about that?
That's just how I know him.
Okay. All right. You were going through a situation, and you knew Officer Peoples too, correct?
As strange as this may seem, me and her dad, lived in this house, and we moved in there. We lived there for 3 years, and I seen Jarreil come and go, and I seen his wife come and go, but we never were social neighbors. Like, we were never like, hey, what do you, how are you? What do you do for a living? Or, it was never one of those exchanges. Her dad, when he'd be out fixing the car or doing something like that, he'd be, hey man, how you doing? That kind of thing. It was never, I never knew he had 5 kids. He lived next door for 3 years. I thought he had 3 kids and that was it. I knew the 2 older ones were outside playing sometimes, and then I knew she had a baby. I never knew there
Who's
was
she?
5. the wife.
Okay.
So his wife came and spoke to me one time about she was selling something, but that was the extent. I didn't know in depth anything about them. You know, some family dynamics happened to where me and her dad split up and I sold the house. Around that time is when she moved in with Christian, so she was moving as well. He started being abusive. Christian started being abusive to her. And we still lived in the same house. We didn't move out completely yet. But her dad had asked him in passing, hey, there's a situation with my daughter.
Ask who, Jarreil?
Yes.
Okay.
He asked him, he was like, hey man, you know, I really want her to talk to you or whatever and see what could be done about this abusive situation. You know, and it was like, okay, you know, and so we told her, hey, there's an officer that lives next door. Ask him what to do. So that's where their interaction began of even knowing each other, even getting anything, like talking at all. So he was just telling her advice about, you know, I see the marks on you. I don't think you should let this go any further, you know, with his abuse. You know, here's my number. If you ever get in trouble, you know, let me know. I'll be glad to help you. And that was the extent. And then she moved in with Christian completely because it was kind of a temporary come and go. And then we sold the house. We moved. She was living with Christian, and then after that, there was more abuse. Officers would come out and take reports. I don't know if there was like 2 or 3, and then of course it just kind of snowballed from there.
But just to clarify, Jarreil was never an officer that was like
An
had
arresting
anything
officer.
to do with with Christian's arrest or any of the reports that were taken.
All right.
He was just like.
I think I read one of the reports that, it was Officer Knobloch and a couple others were involved with that one, but I didn't see him associated with any of those reports. So you removed the post once it started going. You realized it was going viral and the memes were created.
After like a couple hundred shares, and I realized how bad it was getting, and then Jarreil called me and was like, you need to take it down. Like, this is something we need to talk about on the phone, not for the whole world to know. I took it down. But then other people had screenshotted the post, and some other girl that I don't even know who she is, she lives in Alabama, had posted it, and like the last time I saw it, she had like over 5,000 shares. And then it was posted in like Clarksville Chat, Clarksville Exposed, Clarksville 2.0, all kinds of pages, and then just kept going and going and going.
Yeah, it's still continuing. I want to understand. There's no way I'm going to go through and look at every single comment about those. I just reviewed some of those. And I did read your posts, and you're right. Posted a picture. Now, to make sure I'm right on this, is the one with the screenshot of ultrasound?
Wait, what? Good time.
Like a picture of...
Yeah, that's my post.
Okay. So you've known him for approximately, since I would say October, is when y'all started having a relationship. You've known him a little bit prior to that?
Yes.
You knew him from when you lived with your parents? Okay. And he lived beside of you?
Yes, right next door.
All right. Did you know his family?
No.
No, just knew him.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you primarily communicate with Officer Peoples? I mean, via your phone?
Yes.
Okay. What phone was he using his, or what phone were you texting him with or communicating with?
So it started out, it was his phone. Brittany, his wife, found out about me and him. And
She found out in November?
Yes.
Okay.
Whenever Christian went to jail for the domestic assault on me, Christian had found out that I was seeing Officer Peoples. And
Okay.
he let that out of the bag to like all the arresting officers that were
Right.
there that night. And then it got back to Brittany. And so she found out. She ended up pulling like his phone records, and she got all that information. And so he stopped talking to me on his personal phone, and he started texting me on his work phone up until like 3 weeks ago, and then it was back to his personal phone.
All right. So as we turn the corner here with on-duty incidents, because to be honest with you, I mean, it's all relative to what I'm looking into, but your all's decisions on your life is like I said, I'm not here to judge that. Discern what he was doing while he was on duty. Pardon me 1 second, okay? All right, sorry about that. Just had to step out real quick. So we're getting to the on duty what he was doing on duty. You mentioned that. What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean by on duty? I forget exactly what it said, but you said while on duty.
Yes. So, okay, I do have a question.
Sure.
If I was just angry and I posted out of anger, but I tagged the police department in it, and if it wasn't true, then like what kind?
Look, I'm not. Like I said from the beginning, I'm not. What I'm looking at this and why we're even involved in this is because of the on duty part. So if you come in and you say that, as far as criminal in nature, if I want to come and charge you with anything, then no, that's not the case. I'm here to talk to you about the truth of the matter about what he did. And if it's not true, you just need to tell me that it's not true. I'm not going to sit and yell at you or scream at you or anything. This is a very professional situation. So no, I'm not looking at charging you for anything regarding this. I'm just after the truth. This is an administrative investigation to where I'm looking at an internal employment, what this person did while he was working here at the police department. That's what I'm doing.
That's what I'm doing.
Lord, I'm not here to, but I just want the truth, if that makes sense. So if it didn't happen, then you were upset, and it did not happen. You weren't. Matter of fact, I think was to post something about having sexual relations or sex while on duty, or is it just? What did you mean by that when you said on duty?
The only thing that he's done while he's on duty, he's come. I'm living back at my mom's house. He has come over there. And not long, like he'll pop up and like come in. If I make dinner or something, I'll like get dinner ready and give it to him for the night. Or he'll bring me something, like he'll bring me like food or something. That's it. Or he'll pop up and just be like, hey, quick, in and out, hug, kiss, bye. Quick, in and out, hug, kiss, bye. He's never there longer than like 5 or 10 minutes.
At your house?
Yes.
How long?
From that, that's it. We haven't had sex while he's on shift, nothing like that. He just...
Now, let me ask this, is that let me get this timeline right. When did you move, who do you live with? You live with her?
I live with her, yes. I live with my mom.
So did you see you saw an officer coming over to your house too, right?
Yes.
So you were aware of what was going on with her and Jarreil? Okay.
And it's never been like sometimes I would go out on the porch and meet him, like on the porch, and it would be that far, or sometimes he'd come like right in front of the door. It would never be like, oh, let's go upstairs, or like something like that. It was like right in the front of the door.
And what about, I know that you mentioned that his work phone, there's several, I'm sure that you all communicated a lot, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of conversations going back and forth? Do you have any of those? Do you have that information on your phone?
Our messages?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have it. It's between his work phone and like Facebook Messenger.
What's that mean? What do you mean?
Like the Messenger on Facebook?
Yeah.
Like where you can send messages on Facebook?
She's saying sometimes it would be on Messenger.
On Facebook, and sometimes it would be
through
text
Messenger
messages.
only.
Oh.
And then sometimes it would be texting his work phone.
Okay.
So several different conversations in different places.
And it's okay. So you kept all those.
Yes.
Okay. You say that like I'm just asking. I'm just asking if you have those. Since I don't know, after the post was made, he called you and said, "Hey, you got to take this down. This is what it's doing."
Yes.
And you're saying that you wanted to have a relation. I'm not taking words out of your mouth. Make sure I'm correct on this. You wanted a relationship with him. He did not want to leave his wife. You got upset and posted something like this.
You got upset and posted something like this.
It was a build up over like the amount of time that I've been seeing him. It's been a lot of back and forth. It's like 1 week he's like, oh, I want to be with you. I'm going to leave my wife. The next week, oh no, I'm going to work on my marriage. We're going to make this work. Then boom, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, so what are we going to do? And he's like, oh, it's you. Like, it's happened before this time. It had happened twice, him being in the back and forth crap. So then finally, when I found out I was pregnant, he was like, okay, it's you. Like, I'm gonna choose you. I'm gonna divorce her. I'm gonna leave her, and we're gonna have a family and this and that. And then
Was this? I'm sorry to interrupt. Was this done on your text messages or on the phone?
this is on the phone.
Okay.
Different messages on Messenger.
Okay.
In person. Like, it was like he was constantly trying to reassure me that we were gonna be together.
Okay.
And then that night that I posted the post on Facebook, he was like off and it was different. So I called him, I video called him. And I was like, because I thought like Brittany was texting me because it was like so weird. It just didn't sound like him. And then so I video called him and he answered and he was sitting at his kitchen table with her and she was sitting across from him and I was like, what's going on? He was like, what are you talking about? And he was like playing stupid. And I was like, what is going on? Why are you acting weird? And he was like, because I'm sitting here with my wife. And I was like, okay, so what is that supposed to mean? And he was like, I'm gonna, like, her opinion matters. I'm gonna stay and be with her. And I was like, that set me off. I was so angry at that point because it's been like mind games this whole time.
All right, it's okay. I mean, it's you can cry. It's okay.
I was mad. I was so mad. I
Right.
shouldn't have posted it.
Well, yeah, we're here. That's why we're here. And I'm not knocking you for that, but it has caused a. Like I said again, I care about this profession, and I can compare about how people think of the department. You know, I care about that. Just because one officer does one thing, they look at every officer now that we do this. That while we're working, we're out having relationships while we're on duty.
Relationships while we're on duty.
Right? So now that makes me, I go out to a different place and people see me and they think of that. So let me get you, you've got some tears going down. Let me go get you some tissue. You need some too? It is 1:26 p.m. I had to step out to get some tissue paper. As far as these text messages that he was sending on his department phone, just to make it clear, we're not talking vulgarity that would of anything with him in a police uniform or
No. Anything that was sent, any type of picture message that was sent between me and him was on Facebook. It was never anything on his work phone. The only thing that we talked about on his work phone was just like regular conversation. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm at work. And just stuff like that.
okay. Because okay, well, I don't know what we. I don't exactly know. I don't have that information yet as far as what was sent or over his work phone. But I just want to make sure that there was nothing vulgar or anything that would shouldn't have been done over a work phone. I guess what I'm saying. And you're saying it was mainly communication through. Can you go through Facebook on his as long as you have Facebook app, I guess, on your city phone, but you wouldn't know how he was communicating with you on Messenger, what phone it was, right?
I'm pretty sure it was on his personal phone when it was on Facebook.
Right.
Because, like, Brittany can't see his stuff on Facebook. She can't pull phone records from Facebook, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just stopped talking to me through his personal phone number and moved it to, like, Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
So that she wouldn't know.
Okay. Nothing happened on the ride along that you went with him. That was you interested in law enforcement,
Yes,
right?
nothing happened.
Okay. And just to make sure that, again, you're here in a safe environment. There's no threats of you towards anything about any. I don't want you to think that just because he's a police officer doesn't mean that you should cover for anyone during the situation. You know what I mean? I'm here as a representative chief of police of this investigation, and there's no threats to you to say that you better come in there and say that nothing happened on duty. This is you, Lauren Bell, saying this, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I just want you to feel confident in that there's not going to be, there's no threats come from our agency about this. You know, I just want you to be clear on that. All right, what we're going to do now is I want to go talk with our chief and to see if there's anything. I don't want you to have to come in more than you have to. This is obviously not fun, I'm sure, for either of you come in here to the police department. You've got kids, right?
Yes.
That you have to find arrangements for. So if you could, before you leave, if you could, unless you have anything else to ask me or talk to me about, I'd be glad to. Is there any questions that you would have? Your Facebook has been heard deleted, or your all that.
I deactivated it. I took it down.
I'll just talk with him to make sure there's anything he doesn't want me to follow up on from his perspective. And if so, if not, then you guys can go on your way. And is that fair to you guys? Okay. Anyway, so I came back in here. I was talking about the amount of text messages. They did a preliminary check on the amount of text messages, and so on his departmental phone, which we have, you all had pages of text messages. You all primarily it even looked like there were some pictures, maybe some things like that.
We sent a lot of like memes back and forth.
Okay. And I do not want to see any pictures of. I know how people are sometimes nowadays, is what kind of pictures they send. Not you, saying people in general. But if there's, if the phone, the pictures that you have on your phone, would you be willing to look at those that were sent from him?
Wait, huh?
The pictures that were sent from his departmental phone to your phone, or any messages, I'm not talking about downloading your phone, but just take a look at some of those messages. And I'm not making you do that. I'm just asking, to make sure that there's nothing on there that you should be.
No, some of them were like inappropriate, like memes and personal stuff that we talked about. Like, I don't feel comfortable with that.
Okay. All right. Do you know my motive is pure. We're just trying to make sure that we're not having officers that shouldn't be doing what they should be doing, because we do care about that, So that's my motive too. I'm not trying to pry into your business, because like I said from the very get-go, we can't get into judging people on if they have an affair. But while they're employed here, we can get into that. And that's what I was looking at while he was using a city phone or working, and any messages he was sending that could be inappropriate. That's why I was just wanting to take a look, but that's fine. All right, do you have anything else, ma'am, for me? That you have questions? You're the mother, and I know she's grown, but do you have any questions for me representing the police department?
Nothing I can think of.
Okay. All right, any further things from you?
No. I guess the next question is, now what?
Well, here's from the police department standpoint, this has nothing to do with Jarreil or what he decides to do and his decisions on your all's relationship. But from the police department, what could happen, and I don't know for sure how the chief will handle this, what could happen is that the chief could want to look in this further as far as amount of time that he was using to make phone calls and text messages while he was on duty to you. But as far as I'm taking you at your word about the sexual activity going on while he was working, I'm taking it at your word that didn't happen. So that's over with as far as we're concerned. There's nothing else for to do with that. And you're saying that to clear this up too, is that he did not frequent your house, come by your house often.
No.
It was mainly towards, well, actually, let me ask this. Drive, you were dating that other Christian.
Yeah.
So Officer Peoples did not stop by there.
Mm-hmm.
It was primarily solely at your house on, how many times would you say that occurred over the past several months? Since you lived at...
In uniform, you mean?
Yeah.
Like,
While you're working.
Maybe 3.
like
I would say
3 to
three.
5 times.
Because I think he came over more when he was going to the gym than he did when he was working.
Which, yeah, he never really like had time when he was working. And when he did come by, it'd be like he would pop up, get like food if I cooked him dinner, take it, or bring me something. Like if I was like, hey, I want a hamburger, and he'd be like, all right, I'll bring you a hamburger. And he brought me a hamburger one time. And that was
Okay.
it.
All right, if I do need you further, I've got your phone number. I can give you a call. And I would like to get your phone number before you leave in case I need anything too. This is my card. It's my extension on there as well. You think of something, you get home, you want to talk to me about, feel free to. And other than that, that's all I really have. All right, it's 1:45 p.m.